Hi, I'm Sherry Winkler, and I'm going to read about Bella and Sapphire in my book Stormy Night. It's relatively newly published by Tate Publishing, and you can get it at Tate Publishing or Amazon. Stormy Night, Bella and Sapphire. Okay, here goes. First chapter, or at least maybe a little bit of it. It was a stormy night. Bella pulled her raincoat around her and stumbled toward the car. Thunder pealed, and the sky lighted, gray, cloudy, and turbulent. The stranger lunged from the shadows. His barrel chest brushed her back, and she felt a cool knife to her throat. "I don't want to hurt you," he offered, panting. "I only want to know the address of Mr. Jones." Bella tried to stop the shaking as her throat trembled beneath the blade. "Mr. Jones left for Florida. He didn't leave a forwarding address." Her voice squeaked, and she drew breath, trying not to move. Raindrops fell. "Did you know that he left Florida yesterday?" The stranger seemed calmer, his voice menacing. "No," she claimed in breathy tones. "He only told me that he was leaving for Florida. That was 4 days ago." The stranger tightened his grip around her abdomen. "I was just wondering if you might have heard from him." "No, no." Tears glistened in her eyes. Her fury made her feel helpless. The stranger put the knife somewhere and laughed almost tenderly. His hand slid lightly around her throat where the knife had been. She winced beneath his grip, soft but sure. Mr. Jones had seemed like her life in moments. She perhaps had not been his. Even in this man's grip, the pain of rejection did not elude her. Mr. Brad Jones, attorney at law, was a man whose balmy voice could melt steel. Mama had died, and oh, how she longed to talk with her just one more time. She relived their many sweet experiences, and in her heart, Bella longed to touch Mama's soft chestnut hair and look into her innocent blue eyes again. Mama's estate was small, but Bella had needed the services of an attorney. Enter Brad Jones, attorney, Southern gentleman, just a guy that seemed too good to be true. Recommended by Mama's banker, Brad Jones really had been a lifesaver. Between tears and holding herself still, she had worked with Brad. His kind attitude even offset his fees a little. Bella and Brad had gone to the courthouse together, talked over division of inheritance between siblings, and shared warmth that came readily. Phone calls, even with the law fees charged by the minute, felt intimate with Brad, and when he asked her out for a drink at the close of their estate dealings, it felt natural. That first night they had talked of his children, whom he loved with passion. She told him of her life in the Napa Valley as a child, before vineyards had become rampant, when oak trees dotted the golden plains, and obsidian arrowheads could be found along country roadsides and under clumps of turned earth. She spoke of her decision to come to Tennessee to care for her mom. They bantered about a myriad of silly things which seemed appropriate under the glow of soft lights and with the warmth of Brandy's inward blush. A simple kiss goodnight when he walked her back to her car under the shimmer of streetlight tingled with foreboding, like forbidden fruit. Her stomach had almost knotted, but her mouth opened and heartened his entry. An unstoppable tide was about to flow, and no matter her fear, Bella embraced it. "I'll call you tomorrow," he had murmured, as she leaned her head against his chest. Their rendezvous were always delicious, and she had paid little heed to red flags or any other colored flag. Their meetings always felt fortuitous, even though Brad called and she came. He made it out to the country just once, to her mother's house where she still resided. The night had been rainy, and she had lit a fire in the fireplace. She had pulled out some old sheepskins, and they had been far away from the real world, like two naughty teens on a one-night stand. Otherwise, they met in his large apartment. usually after drinks. The feeling never left her that somehow they were an accident, something not quite real. The thrill of sheer impulse stirred in Bella, like a small child stealing a cookie from the cookie jar while standing atop too large a chair. The sensation was like the fear of falling, drawn out for weeks, while the treat, barely within reach, sweetened her mouth and her soul. She could not tell why it affected her thus, because Brad might very well be Mr. Right. His ardent love-making never ceased to thrill her, and her loving but ravaging affection seemed to be the thing that he had never known but had always wanted. Besides, wasn't he a normal guy with ambition and a briefcase? Maybe it had been too good to be true. Bella felt surprised that she could be so wistful with these unrelenting fingers around her throat and a farmer-sized hand around her midsection. "I don't believe you," the man stuttered. Bella's body betrayed her as it started to shake. That's all I'm going to read right now. We might come back and do this later, but I just wanted to give you a taste of Stormy Night, Bella and Sapphire by Sherry Winkler. That's me. And I wrote this book after my own precious mama died. And I was really suffering, and I was praying, God, what am I going to do? What's become of me? Jesus, take me now. Take me with my mama. I don't want to be here without my mama. And the Spirit started saying, Sherry, just write, just write. And so the story of Bella and the story of Sapphire after that came out of my pain. But it was an amazing ride for me. I never knew what was going to happen next, and I hope it will be an amazing ride for you. Thank you.